Good morning, and will the delegate assembly please come to order? Thank you all. Looks like we have a quorum today, but we'll know shortly. Would Captain Palenzuela lead us in the pledge, please?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Please be looking over the minutes. And while you're doing that, please, we'll have the law enforcement report. Captain?
Good morning, everyone. Hi, I have Lieutenant Hill go over the crime report in a moment. Just want to remind everyone we have Operation Pill Drop in the lobby. So my deputies, along with our evidence section, will be here from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you brought any of your unused medications or prescriptions, now would be a good time to leave them with us. We don't want these things ending up in our landfills or being deposited in our water tables. So just a quick reminder on that. And I'm sure Lieutenant Hill is going to cover the crime report and some of the continuing issues that we see. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Morning. 345 total calls, which is everything. We had 46 written reports. Unfortunately, we had 3 residential burglaries reported to us. One of these occurred while the victim was away for several days, so we don't have an exact time that occurred. We had one reported that to us that supposedly occurred overnight while the victim was asleep. And we have one that occurred sometime during the day when the resident was away and the doors were left unlocked for a while. We had 3 vehicle burglaries reported. Once again, all of them left unlocked. This continues to be an epidemic county-wide. Last week, my district alone, we had 17 or 18 reported throughout the entire district, and I think 15 of them were unlocked cars. It's just gone crazy, and we can't stress enough the need to secure your vehicles when you're away. One theft was reported. A resident reported she had some food delivery, and somebody took some of the items that were left out in front of her unit. One vandalism, resident reported she found a scratch on a car. One fraud case, computer apparently related. Somebody got into some accounts and a bunch of purchases were made and sent to India. We were told that the bank, has canceled the transactions and refunded the amount, but still the effects of that will linger. Please continue to monitor your credit reports. Be aware of what's going on with your statements. One animal bite was reported. Apparently a service animal nipped a neighbor. Animal Care and Control is going to handle that. And we had one assault reported, but both parties declined to pursue the matter, and it was a relatively minor incident, so there was nothing there. If you saw us, we were in here quite a bit with traffic last month. Please slow down. Stop signs are just there for a reason, and I hate to see people get tickets for those. Other than that, does anybody have any questions for us? Yes.
Any questions for PBSO? Come up to the mic, please. Yes.
Two questions.
Go ahead.
First, about that bite incident, do you know if it was an actual licensed, trained service animal or just a comfort animal?
The report I read indicated a service animal.
Okay.
The report indicated a service animal, but Animal Care and Control makes that, I'm sorry? The report indicated a service animal. Animal Care and Control will determine if the papers were appropriate and all that.
Second question about stop signs. Can a driver be cited for running a non-compliant stop sign?
No.
Thank you.
All the stop signs on the UCO property are compliant. They were verified by a traffic engineer many years ago when the traffic agreement was put into place. Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday I was online
A
coming.
little closer to the mic.
Yesterday I was online coming through the gate at Haverhill, and there was a car in front of me that had two men in it and had no decal on it, and the service officer, security officer, let the person go through and said, go straight to here to get your decal. But the person didn't. They made a right turn and went right into the development. So I'm wondering, one, are there CCTV cameras at the entrances? And who monitors the security people?
There are security cameras at the entrances, and we occasionally monitor them, but primarily that's driven by requests from PBSO. If there might be some video there that would help them solve a crime.
See, my question is, does PBSO give any kind of training to the security officers? Because,
No. Platinum Security is not trained by PBSO.
okay, so the woman that was at the gate obviously has not received the proper training because she let the person proceed straight through on the person's word that they were going straight to get the decal fixed. They were not. And
They
they
didn't.
probably were not part of Centuryville either.
Undoubtedly, you have a busy day, but if possible, could you bring this issue to our Security Committee meeting this afternoon?
Sure, no problem, because it's not the first time it happened.
Okay, 1 o'clock.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
be there.
All right.
Thanks.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
All right, hope to see you this afternoon. Thank you. All right, you've had a good look at the minutes. And as you recall, last month we had no quorum. So let's start with, are there any corrections to this month's minutes, the current minutes? All right. I think the answer, I heard someone mumble, do we have a quorum? I think the answer is yes. If it turns out no, then everything we're going to do now will have to be kiboshed. In other words, it won't be effective. It just takes them a few minutes to get an accurate count up front. All right? So, I would like to ask for approval not only of these minutes, but of the previous month's minutes, when we had definitely no quorum. So do we have a motion for that? Yes. I got a couple. All right. Marilyn Gordetzer, and you second. Thank you. Paul Goldfarb, yes. All right. So that takes care of the minutes. I would like to launch right into the principal business for today and have a combined treasurer's report and then a call for approval of the budget. So I'm going to turn this over to Eddie and Sebastian. I'm very pleased to note that they found further reductions in the budget, and Sebastian will go into that. So go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So I thought we would start with our August 2018 financials. And as you can see, our year-to-date versus our annual budget of what we spent so far and what we still have remaining is still working out well. Our comparison between August 2018 and August 2017 is relatively same on par, except for a few things that have gone up through 2018. For the contribution for the reserve funding for 2018, we're going to put in $970,807, which will be the 2018 budget number that we had for reserves. On the second sheet, our year-to-date for the UCO reporter and for investigations is still a positive number. Those two are important for our budget discussion. Do I have any questions about the August 2018 financials before we get into the budget? All right, perfect. If everyone could flip to the page that has the UCO 2019 proposed budget. And we're going to start all the way to the right where it says proposed budget 2019. We're going to use that column, and we're going to go down through that, and we'll talk about how some of those numbers were presented. So the first one is the association fees, where it says $7,618,902. That's the plug figure for whatever the shortage is off of the rest of the income numbers. So as we get through to the end, you'll see how that number works itself out. So the next one is interest income. We have the CD ARS account, which will be the interest that we earn on the CDs from the reserve account. The CD ARS keeps everything below $250,000, which is the FDIC limit. Below that, we have advertising revenue of $102,000 and investigation fees of $150,000. Those two numbers net out to zero when we get into the expenses. Whether they present a profit for advertising or investigations, which was what was important about 2018 so far, is that they are profitable and have surplus from what's collected. The next one is the installation luncheon net, which is $2,000, which is in line with what was spent in 2018, net of any tickets sold. Rental income is up for 2019 because we have two sources of rental income now, $1,844 from Seacrest and $1,200 from Atlantic Broadband. The gate passes, we left the same as the 2018 budget, $18,600. The reason why the estimated 2018 number is lower than what the budget amount is because it is net of any of the expenses for the stickers and the passes. The next one is laundry income. We have at $18,000, which is in line with the 2018 approved budget. Although we did collect more than the $18,000, I think it's best to stay on the conservative side for that. Does anyone have any questions on any of the income numbers before we move on to expenses? I'm sorry it's so dry. I wish I could make budgeting more fun. Okay, so now we'll move on to the expenses. We'll start with laundry expenses. The total that we have for laundry expenses is $10,500. That covers propane and any repairs. As you can see, for 2018, we estimate that we only had $1,200 of the $5,000 that was budgeted in repairs. But if something were to break, we need to be able to have those funds available. And the propane for laundry was a little bit more than what the budget amount was. So we did increase that one to $6,500 for that one line item. So the total for laundry is $10,500 for 2019, and 2018 it was $10,600. The other thing to note is the termite control for the laundry. Just like we did for the 2018 budget, the items that we could merge together to create one line item to make it a little bit easier to read, we did do that. So we zeroed out the termite control for laundry, and we moved that down, and when we get down to general, we'll go over that. The next item is transportation. The bid that we received for transportation was $896,370. That includes all the excursions. So in the 2018 approved budget, we had two line items. We had the regular contract for transportation, and we had the excursion costs. And we also had bus stop maintenance. Those were three separate line items in 2018. In 2019, those are all included in the $896,370. For the fuel for the bus, we increased that from $70,000 to $86,000 for 2019, and that's been the increase in the fuel. The security expense, there's two parts to security. There's the contract and the miscellaneous expenses. So the contract for security is $889,623. That has their estimated amount of $847,260 with a 5% variance, and then $500 for any miscellaneous expenses. In 2018, we didn't have any, but just in case if something were to come up, we have that available. Under investigations, for the income line item, we used $150,000. The statutory amount that we're allowed to take in is $100 per investigation. If an investigation costs $380, we have to eat that difference because the Florida State has said that you cannot charge more than $100 for investigations. So as of right now, we have investigations net zero, even though we have a profit or surplus in 2018. I think it's best, just like the UCO reporter, to stay on the conservative side. For irrigation and landscape, in 2018, we made a change from the previous budgets by putting landscape and irrigation together. The entire budget for 2018 for landscape and irrigation was $313,000. And in 2019, the entire budget for irrigation and landscape is $322,000. We're still waiting for some proposals, but we did put a 3% increase just in case if any of those expenses do go up. So it's about a difference of about $9,000. For cable bulk service, our budget in 2018 was $3.6 million, and in 2019, it's a little over $3.5 million. What I did is I took the first 6 months that were still with the current carrier and included their increase on there. For the second 6 months, I used the numbers that were presented by Atlantic Broadband, included any of the taxes and fees in there. So there's a decrease there. For the ambulance contract, that has not increased in some time, so we left that one the same for 2019. The next one that we have on the list is the general and administration expense. This is less of a catch-all and more of the items that didn't relate to anything above them. So we have the beautification, which is $30,000, which is the same as 2018. Repairs and maintenance, we left at $190,000. Our estimated repairs for 2018, right now we're at about $164,000 is what we think we'll spend through the end of December. For utilities electric and utilities water, we had an increase on the water side, but a decrease on the electricity side using the numbers that we have after we've put everything together. For the legal fees, we increased the legal fees budget by a little more than $5,000. The difference for 2019 is there's a possibility of bylaw changes, and if that happens, there'll be an increased cost in the legal fees. For insurance, we received the 2019 estimate, which was $70,805. It's about a little less than $10,000 increase from the previous year. Office supplies, we increased from $9,000 to $10,000. For 2018, we think we're going to spend $9,630. For the accountant fees, the annual audit fees, 2018 we had $38,000. In 2019 we have $39,900. That's for any variances. For the administration salary, in 2018 we had $52,484. and in 2019, we had 55,108. It has a 5% increase, but when they have the compensation meeting, they'll go over that and work some number out. The administration salary-related taxes, that number is just a formula driven based on whatever the salary expense is. For computer maintenance and related equipment, in 2017, when we were discussing the 2018, I had some discussion about whether or not to combine those two accounts. Whether it was related equipment or whether it was computer maintenance. We kept them apart for 2018, and then in 2019, I decided to put those two together. Included in the 2019 computer maintenance and related equipment, we do have computer upgrades and a new server. So that increase goes from $15,000 to $42,000, $27,000 to $42,000, which has the $15,000 difference for the server. Channel 63, our 2018 budget was $7,884. In 2019, we've reduced to $3,942. There's a few reasons for that. One, the amount that we're actually paying for Channel 63 for the equipment is much less than we had anticipated. And also, there's a belief that some of those expenses will be covered with the new contract. The next line item is pest control. You'll see that the pest control number is different. In 2018, we estimate that on all pest control, we'll spend $5,468. So I made a budget line item of $5,500, but that includes all the areas that were previously covered. For postage, we spent a little bit more than the budget, and so we used that number to reflect the 2019 and did $1,200 for postage. For the copier expense, so in the 2018 budget, we had approved $24,000 for the copier expense. We did some research over the prior months and decided that it would be probably in our best interest to remove the contract or stop using the HGI for all our copier repairs and toner replacements. We believe that will save a significant amount of money by just purchasing it and repairing on an as-needed basis. We own the copier outright, and so any of the repairs or toner or anything that we purchase for it would definitely be on our side. There's still room in the budget if for some reason this 10-year-old copier were to break or have significant repairs that were needed, we would still have room in the budget to be able to purchase one. But that monthly expense has gone down, and since we became very proactive against the copier expense, in 2018 we had a budget of $24,000, but we estimate through 2018 that we're going to spend less than $15,000. The next is the welcome committee. We have that one at $2,000. That was the proposal that we received. For kitchen expenses, we left that the same as 2018. For the telephone expense, in 2018 we had budgeted $13,230, and we were over budget. And the total that we think we'll spend on telephone for 2018 is $15,722. The reason for that is in the telephone expense that we had budgeted for 2018 only include the monthly charges and no new equipment. In the 2019 budget, we went from the $13,000 2018 budget to $16,000. So it allows us, if a phone goes down or if something needs to be upgraded, we have the room in the budget for that. We'll go down to volunteers. For volunteers, we had a budget of $5,300 in 2018. That was reduced by a new proposal for $4,300. And property taxes remained the same. Under UCO reporter, again, that was just like the investigations, net zero, $102,000 in, $102,000 out. Even though there may be a profit and there's a lot of changes that are happening right now with the reporter, we expect that there will be a profit, but trying to guess how much that is a little difficult. So we did it just like the investigations, just in case. The next line item is reserves, which is $1,074,796 contributed to reserves, plus the amount that we get back from Atlantic Broadband, which is $883,575. So the total that we'd be contributing to reserves in 2019 would be $1,958,371. And we'll go over those line items. And the last account, 7902 sales tax, we have at $2,557. We believe that covers all of the sales tax that we'll have due on the commercial rents. Do I have any questions about the related expenses before we get into reserves?
Come up, Ed.
I have a question on the laundry room.
Yes, sir.
I don't see anything in there to pay electric and water. Does that get pooled under someplace else?
Yes, sir.
So you don't have a profit there. You're not adding the total expense of running the laundry room. If you're deferring it to another account, you're not giving us a correct number.
Understood. I'll go ahead and see if we can split that number out and move it up. Fine, Penny.
Marcia Zaccardi. It's working?
Yes.
Okay. I also have a question about the laundry room. I want to know about the property tax, the insurance, was all that included, and reserved for the roof? The laundry room.
We haven't gotten to reserves yet. I don't have a reserve for the roof of the laundry room. We do pooled reserves over at UCO, so it covers anything that may need to be done
Okay.
that's capital.
Okay. What about the insurance and the property tax? Was that included anywhere?
Yeah, those are included under the insurance line item for general and administration, but just like